what's up? We're gonna record a little session here. Me hammering out some steel because my wife's got my headphones, so I got no music to listen to. And you know, that's what I usually do, is just listen to music and jam out. You know. But we'll see what happens with this. I got a chunk of 4140 in the forge over here, heating up. It's pretty thick. I'll show you what it looks like. This little robot that'll follow me around, but see, it's not even red yet. But the battery died on it, so now I got just a stationary. What I want to do is see, Seamus Blackley, who's the guy who was one of the inventors of the Xbox, the original Xbox. I made him a kitchen knife, and then one New Year's Eve, he was like, "We need to make a sword," and I was like, "Yeah, let's just make the sword." And then he wants X pattern Damascus for the sword. You know, it can't just be any sword, of course not. So I have to make X pattern Damascus. The problem is I tried to have somebody make it, and Seamus even paid this guy, and he ripped him off. He never make the steel and just took the money, you know. So I can't trust anybody else to make it. I gotta make it myself. He wants me to make this kick-ass gladius, you know, with the X pattern Damascus. So that's kind of my life quest. So I kind of want to document that as I go along. But in the meantime, I make all sorts of knives, and swords, and axes, and maces, and you know, I have fun doing it. I mean, it's what keeps me going. I quit drinking, and I really needed a hobby. I mean, even now I struggle with depression. I mean, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? See, this is so thick. It's taking a minute to heat up, but once it does, it'll heat pretty quickly in between, you know, hammering and then put it back. It'll heat pretty quick. But I don't even know what I'm really gonna hammer this into. Made a 6-inch. Here's my pupper. Oh, there goes George. George and Lil. They're part of the family. They're not worried about the forge. They don't ever come by the fire, but it's their yard too. Almost there. But either way, I'm going to attack this is try to flatten it, squeeze it, flatten it, squeeze it. I guess, you know, it's just a regular way that you draw out steel, but I mean, it's time consuming and it's good work though. Keeps that arm strong, you know, like a rock. Because this is a 4-pound hammer, you know what I mean? That's heavy, 4 pounds. The secret is not always, you know, there's no secret. Not that the secret is, but I mean, you should. It's not about how hard you hit it. You know, you got to hit it repetitively. You got to hit it in the same spot. It's accuracy and you know, rhythm. You don't want to just. I do that sometimes when I'm angry, but give it a couple whacks to get the slag off of it. See, it's starting to get a little. Every steel is different, and it works different. I mean, when you when you're hitting it and at the heats that it needs to be, you get to start to become malleable. But this is 4140. I've worked with it before. It's a really tough steel, high carbon. It's not as flexible as like 5160 and 1095, but it's like a tool steel. It's really strong. But I don't know what I'm going to make out of it. I mean, we'll see what happens when I start hitting it. I probably won't. I don't even know if I'll get to the shape that it needs to be in this session, because it's just a big chunk of steel, you know. Trying to just flatten it out now, and I'll squeeze it together. It's a long process. Sometimes it's monotonous, but you know, it's all part of it. It's not just fun and games out here, you know. The way I learned was just watching Forged in Fire and YouTube videos. So if you want to do this, you can do it too. It's just you gotta have. I got the bare essentials. I got a forge and a 130-year-old anvil. It was made in 1891, and it was state of the art for its time. I love that anvil. It was like the universe brought me that anvil. So I just mentioned that I needed it. I wanted to start, forging blades to a friend of mine, and like a couple weeks later, they found that clearing a lot. For his friend to build a house that was buried up to the horn in the dirt. When they were bulldozing it, that thing came out of the ground. Stories that thing can tell. Much wider. This is the original width, and then that's hammering it. Still needs to be thinner. Yeah. The anvil was state of the art because it's two pieces. Top here. Like a machined piece of steel, and then this was poured. So I don't even know what technology was like in 1891, but look at that thing, it's still here. It's still making straight blades, Crazy. But them's the breaks, right? gotta work both sides. Because you'll dent it on one side. And if you keep doing that, it'll just be all dented, and then you flip it over, and one side will be flat. But if you work it back and forth, it makes both sides flat. Plus, I have a flatter hammer, which is a little smaller than that one, but it's big, round, flat surface. They're good dogs. They're really good dogs. They got this whole big fenced-in backyard, so you know, I was gonna do this and like try to tell stories and stuff, but I don't know if I'm any good at it. So you know, I'm just gonna be real with you. This is who I am. You know, I do this so I don't, you know, drink and kill myself, you know, from alcohol poisoning, which is pretty much where I was. I was 280 pounds. Bad. Well, drinking every day, waiting at the liquor store like 9 a.m. for the liquor store to open, and then drinking. That's pure alcoholism. It's not good. If you're struggling with alcoholism, you can give it up. Just find something you like to do. And, I mean, I love my family, and my wife was kind of upset that that wasn't enough. But I mean, alcohol is such a strong drug. Figure out how to make this X pattern Damascus and finish this sword. You know, it'd be kind of legendary. But as you can see, I've had some failed experiments. I've had one successful experiment, which was documented on Twitch, and I can never see it again because, you know, they get rid of the video, so it's gone. But I made a solid canister Damascus once. This one didn't work out, and I still haven't forged well because I don't really have. I don't have a press. You know, I'm trying to get a shed and put it in the backyard over there. So I can put a roof over the forge. Right now, it's just, you know, out in the open. So that's what I'm trying to do, get on there. And it's just a hobby, though. You know, this is just a hobby for me. I work full time, you know, as a handyman. You know, doing bathrooms and kitchens and putting up lights and stuff like that. You know, so you know, bear with me if you want to. If not, hey, no harm done. time this takes, it's only been 15 minutes and I've barely even made any progress. I mean, I have, but it doesn't look like it, you know what I mean? I won't start to see the knife until the end. Imagine if I was like, I put it in there like that and I was like, oh, see that? You know, all it takes is a couple of whacks and that you get. This is hot. It burns the gloves. These has Kevlar stitching and it burns them. You know, this is like my 25th or 30th or 40th pair of gloves. You know, who even knows? Who's keeping count? I've also burned so much hair off of my hand getting this stuff out of the forge. I would turn the camera, but the tripod's broken and that's why I said I had that little robot, which would be better for next time. This was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I said, you know, Friday, I had the day off, Friday after Thanksgiving, which by the way was a good, you know, I ate plenty yesterday. So, you know, if you want to see me make this X pattern Damascus, let me know, you know what I mean? Should I do it? I mean, I'm gonna do it, but should I bother with recording it, you know? But now I gotta do is thin this out to make it more like a handle. More like a handle and a vandal. You know what I mean? Because right now it's just a big chunk of beat up steel. But I gotta hammer it more even, you know. Hammer. And, you know, in the end, we'll have a knife. I keep saying, you know, when you don't, that's why you're watching the video, I guess. It's an annoying habit, you know, sometimes, you know, you do something, but you just can't stop yourself from doing it. Like I ask my kids every 10 minutes, what are you doing? I don't even know why I say that. And it's a joke to them. What are you gonna do, right? That's life. Let's make a handle worthy of the vandals. I'm starting to burn now. Yeah. But, it's worth it, you know what I mean? I gotta be careful, I can't swing too much because I tore this rotator cuff in a motorcycle accident and I had it repaired. So if I do like I get the arthritis, you know, if I do too much, it'll bother me for days. So I get about 45 minutes, you know, an hour every 2 days or so. I can't do it every day. I can't hammer every day. I mean, I can work on knives, but I can't hammer like this every day. That's why I want to get a hydraulic press for making the Damascus, because doing it by hand is like, you know, it's like, holy shit, holy God, you know. Now we're getting more like a handle in there. Get a little smaller. Get it a little smaller. Then we got to switch to the other side, which we haven't even started yet. And it's almost 25 minutes in. So if you watch this whole thing, you really are dedicated. You want to know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? If not, I don't blame you. If you fast forward, cool. At least you checked it out. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I look like a lunatic in my backyard. You know, it's fenced in, and this guy's got a bunch of trees up to, you know. So at first there was nothing there along the fence. You know, he moved in, and I'm out here, so you know. Thinner. I think I'll do one more like this, flip around and start working on the other side, and that's, you know, I could do a dagger at this point. I could do like wood, you know, like a camp knife kind of thing. Do a lot of different things with it at this point. You know, it's still not, you know, sometimes I go in with an idea. If I got an idea, I'll trace it onto the, I'll show you, come on. When I got an idea, I'll trace it over here, you know, and then I'll hold it up to there, you know what I mean? I'll hold the billet up to there and see, you know, how it's going now. Probably gonna fall over. It wouldn't be the first time that it's fallen over. But I wanted to show you what I'm talking about over there. Look at it. Look at this production value, huh? We'll try to get better at that. I know I said that in other videos, but you know, at least I have a tripod and not some stupid bucket on top of a fish tank or something like that, like I have before, you know? Yes! See? Isn't that pretty? much more handle size compared to the original. See, this side hasn't been touched at all. You know what I mean? So now it's time. Maybe a dagger. See how it goes, you know, hitting this side. If I get a nice, like, long straight one, I might do a dagger, like a mini Crusader's dagger or something like that. I haven't done a dagger like that. See, the grinding on that is very difficult to get, you know, double-sided with a point down the center, maybe a fuller. So the grinding now, that's the one thing that's taken me, you know, a long time to get better. Now I don't even barely use my, see, I had like a little jig that you know, put the knife in and run it along the grinder. But I start to do it all by hand because the swords that I've been doing are too big to fit in the jig, so I have to do the swords freehand. And it's, you know, it's all about feel, and that's how they did it back in the day. Except they had to pedal a big stone wheel, you know. And I got a friend that does it that way too still, so that stone wheel for me, I don't know, it's not practical. Look, it's the forbidden popsicle stick. Starting to become a knife now a little bit. The reason I use vice grips is because the tongs, I guess, you know, I got like arthritis in my forearm too, and it's hard to, sometimes my grip will get loose and I'll drop the thing, and then when I drop it on the grass here, the grass catches on fire instantly, you know? It's pretty crazy. You see how hot that shit is, and then you drop it on that grass, even the live stuff goes up instantly. Fire. So you gotta be real careful with it, so that's why I have a good grip on it with these. You know, but I pull it in and out of the forge. And sometimes I use this, like when I'm stamping it with my stamp, I use these because I just try to drop it on there and stamp it, and pick it back up. I really need an assistant, but I mean, who's going to help me out? You know, I can't afford to pay nobody. I don't really need an assistant for stuff like this. It's some stuff you need, you know, four hands for. Some of the swords I made, I could have definitely used, you know, an extra set of hands. But, you know, we got them done. I have getting real creative. You know, it's crazy because I never thought I'd be able to do stuff like this, you know, but if you just go out and you try it, you know, what's the worst that can happen? You fail. I've already failed a bunch of times, but I've also had some success, you know. That's why you do it. For success. Like Mario Brothers. How many times I died in that game? Those indestructible controllers that I beat against the wall. They don't make controllers like that no more. At least if I get angry doing this, I got a big hammer, I can just beat, you know, the crap out of something. But it's more about accuracy. I bought the tongs and stuff off of Amazon, and they sent me this hammer. I've been wanting to try it out, but the head, it came loose. I mean, it arrived loose. You hear that? So I'm thinking it's going to fly off. I'm going to have to probably rehandle it. But it's a cool head. I might want to, you know, try it for smaller projects and stuff. Hot stuff right there. I lowered the back brick because it was getting too hot inside. Well, not too hot inside, but listen. The wind was kind of blowing the blowback a little unevenly out the front. You got to be careful because if the hoses that go to it, then it's just going to be spewing fire. You know, until you calmly go over and shut it off. The secret is never panic. You know what I mean? Because then it can get real bad. One thing I learned in basic training is to not panic, because that just makes situations worse. You have to just kind of be, you know, just kind of deal with it, you know, with the same face. But you know, inside you can panic, but outside you gotta be calm and collected. One time I cut a piece of red hot steel off, a hot cutter, which is like have a wedge on the handle, and you stick that piece over it and you cut it by banging the hammer against the steel, against the wedge that sticks up from the anvil. And that piece fell off, landed on my shoe, burned through my shoe and my sock like that, instantly. And I got a big burn mark, you know, big scar right there. Do a dagger. What I think I'm going to do is like a little Bowie knife. I'm going to start to work in the tip now. Or I don't know, we'll see what happens. I can do all sorts of things with it. See how the tip comes out. Sometimes they get all messed up, you know what I mean? You gotta just kind of work it back and forth. See what happens, start working the tip. That's what she said. The next one will have the robot, you know, follow me so you can see what I'm doing over there. The next one will probably be, you know, another test canister. That's really the only Damascus I can try, because the canister's got it, you know, trapped in there. But I need a thicker canister material, and you know, we'll try it again. If you made it this far, you could have this knife. I probably will give it away though. And the secret is Amananapia. However you say that. And who knows? Probably will give this one away. You know what I mean? Give it away on Blue Sky or something. I don't think I'm giving away anymore on X. I don't like it over there anymore. Even though that's where, I mean, a lot of people I met there are switching over to Blue Sky anyways. And I only go on there because there's still some friends I have on there, but it's crazy over there, man. It's just a rounded tip. You gotta work it and work it. That's why it's tough to watch a whole video like this. I mean, I tried editing stuff, and then it's just like all I got is my phone, and it doesn't work that great, you know. But eventually, maybe I'll get somebody to help me out editing and stuff like that. Have a cool video, but for this one, it's just me, Fisher, my anvil over here, Mr. Volcano, the forge. We're just chilling in my backyard. Like I said, usually I'm just back here popping my head. You know, the neighbors think I'm weird, but you know, whatever. Sometimes it feels like you don't make any progress in a heat. You know what I mean? It's like you beat on this thing, and it just looks the same. When I first started doing this, it was a little stupid blowtorch. I just put some bricks in a square, and it was even worse because I was never really getting it up to, you know, workable temperatures. So some of my early pieces are pretty rough. But, you know, you got to start somewhere. With this, I like these, but I need a new one because this one's, you know, they don't last forever. Plus the new ones, I like the new the valve design with the 2 valves on top. That time, I feel like I made a little progress. And I'll show it to you after this next one. It's a lot different than it did when we first started. You know what I mean? Started with that square chunk of 4140 that my buddy gave me. Same guy that gave me the anvil. And he also does a lot of the welding for me. Like, you know, I got the, you know, some of the stuff is crazy, like the spear. Like I make all 3 of the parts. He welds them together for me. Then I still got to clean them all down and everything. But he's enjoying it because he's getting better at welding. Eventually I'll have my own welder and stuff, but I watch him for now. And that's how I've learned how to do most things in my life. But these 2 instruments right here. Tip. Now hammer that bottom of the blade thinner because it takes longer to grind it off than it being hammered. It's much faster to hammer it, you know, as narrow as possible, then grind it later. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna probably force people to watch this. Is what it is. You know, I'll give this knife away, but you'll have to watch this video or something like that. You know what I mean? I got all sorts of cool stuff to handle it with. I even got brass for bolsters, or we could do a finger guard. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. I think I'm going to curve the handle too. stretch it out a little more and curve the handle. So it's going to be a curved handle buoy. So, I guess I can still do a finger guard. Because you got to think about that when you're making it. Since the finger guards the way they go on, there's other ways to do them, which I don't have to. I need a drill press. That's another thing that I need. You know, right now I'm doing it with a DeWalt battery drill. Sometimes the pins don't line up perfect, and that can be a disaster. You end up making a Bowie knife anyway. This one, I either make a Bowie knife, you know, some sort of cleaver. I don't know. I've made some pretty weird ones. I've also made like the basic staples, you know. Like swinging the big spear I made out front, all the neighbors could see. They're like, what the hell is he doing? Get in there. I think I'll do one more, maybe a couple more. I want a little. I don't know if it's big enough for a curved handle. Long enough, I think. Sometimes the curved handle is big on a long blade. It gives you that. Maybe not so much on a small little blade. Ergonomics. Is that the right word? Who even knows? Maybe you. This is my stamp. Will it be ergonomically correct? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe a curved handle. The rest of the tip I'll do, well, grind it out. But you can see I got most of the tip in there. With the horn of the anvil. Right here. That's the horn. Top is the table, I believe. I don't know. Like I said, I do this shit for fun, man. I do this shit for fun. My battery's about to die, but you know, who's gonna watch an hour of this anyways? But if you made it this far, you're just about guaranteed to get the knife. Anyways, my battery's gonna die, so I'm gonna have to shut this down and finish this behind closed doors. But thanks for watching. If you actually did watch all this, and stay tuned for me to make the Xbox Blade of Legend.